Hey y'all, it's Ed. So, I'm going to be doing a reading for us tonight. Well, this is the second reading that I'll be doing tonight. I hope you guys are doing well. Just so you know, you guys are welcome to direct message me here, and I will reply. Let me know what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So we have Virgo in reverse here. We also have the Sun in reverse. The Sun representing self-expression, ego, creativity, and identity. We also have Palasathin, inner wisdom, Vesta, devotion in reverse. And we have the second house coming out here underneath Vesta, devotion. This is the house of resources, material possessions, and values. Here is where we see our belongings, wealth, and finances, as well as the pillars on which material, intellectual, and emotional security is developed. We also have Void of Course coming out. Pause in time, change of plans, limbo, and improvisation. Some of these cards are coming out from the last reading. Underneath this Virgo in reverse, we have stellium, reinforcement and concentration. And underneath this Sun in reverse, we have Pluto, transformation, rebirth, renewal, obsession. So something in relation to our identity or our ego is going to be going through a transformation period. The word enlightenment is coming through. And it feels like I'm feeling very excited and feeling very full of life right now. The words commercial vehicle is coming through as well. The word urgency is coming up. Mars is also coming out upright on top of this stellium card, reinforcement and concentration. And Mars says willpower, desire, fortitude, and rage. The word equipment is coming up as well. And with this Mars coming out on top of this stellium card that says reinforcement and concentration, being that Mars is ruled by Scorpio and Aries and already has like that willpower, that passion, that force, that movement coming out underneath this Virgo in reverse. It feels very crafty, like a mastery or will or on a mission to do something that requires. The word stealth is coming through, which is like to do something very quietly. But I'm getting like something that is like requires detail as well, like working towards something, working on an important mission. The word task is coming through, or like some kind of mastery or craft type of thing. And so we have the Sun in reverse and Pluto, and something in relation to your will, your identity, your self-expression, how you feel about yourself. And I was also hearing how you view the world. Interesting. So we have this Pallas Athene in reverse next to the Sun card, which represents inner wisdom, and the card underneath, solar eclipse, and it says embracing change, revelations, courage, determination, connection. Hope you can hear me. Embracing change, revelations, courage, determination, connection. Yeah, so it feels like definitely this taking charge energy, a willingness and a willpower to accomplish something, determination in relation to this inner wisdom that you have and is possibly developing on. The word encouragement is coming through. Wow, so whoever this reading is for, you're definitely being encouraged right now. And then we have devotion in reverse. The word maturity is coming through as well. But with this void of course card coming out, makes things even more interesting. We also have the waxing crescent card coming out here. It says inspiration, creativity, growth, accomplishments, and learning. This is coming out on top of this Pluto card, transformation, rebirth, obsession. Yeah, it feels very good too. Something, the word encouragement is coming through. Something about your creativity. I'm getting like life force type of energy as well. Something about who you are is like expanding. The word rebirth is coming through, but I'm just getting this big feeling of like some kind of energy just being like coming from the front of you and just expanding, and it feels like something like showing the world something. That's what it feels like. Aries is coming out sideways underneath this Mars and stellium card. And then we also have Jupiter coming out in reverse. Jupiter, expansion, gratitude, morality, enlightenment. It feels like you have something to show other people, or you've made or created something to be seen by other people. We have Pisces in reverse, and this is going out above this void of course, on top of it or above it. This void of course again says pause in time, change of plans, limbo, improvisation. And with this Pisces card, it just feels like being in a very expansive place. 8th house is coming out. This is the house of life's enigmas, transformation, the hidden, sexuality, and death. Here's where we can see someone else's property and money, real estate, inheritance, and investments. We can also see our deepest unrevealed wishes, as well as fears, occultism, and esotericism. I transform coming out on top of this Pallas Athena's inner wisdom in reverse, and the solar eclipse, embracing change. Underneath we have Aquarius. Oh, excuse me. So something in relation to what you're doing, what you've been doing, what you're practicing on, a personal skill or craft that you have that you've been working on, you're definitely continuing to be encouraged to like work towards it, continue to work towards it, continue to do it, continue to improve, continue to expand. It's like an encouragement. And with this void of course coming out, it doesn't necessarily feel like a void of course, like as in that you're gonna need to change direction. It just kind of feels like with this Pisces in reverse coming out on top of it, it's kind of like acknowledging that you may feel in a very expansive field, or you may feel like you are, like for an example that's coming through is like maybe you're doing a craft that's very popular right now, or very trendy right now, or like, you know how they say the what does it say, like this field is saturated, there's a lot of people doing it type of energy, or something that you're doing, that you're working towards, that it might feel bigger than you. You can't even see my hands, I'm trying to show you my hands. It might feel bigger than you. I'll try to show you like something like that. But with this void, of course, it's not like you have to change something, but it just feels okay. The word entering is coming through. It's like you might enter into some kind of expansive space that feels like, I don't know, maybe it didn't just come to your awareness until now for some reason or something. But I'm still getting like, continue trucking forward, continue going forward. You're definitely being encouraged. You're on the right path. You're doing the right thing. Just keep going forward. Keep going forward. And something about that is like, I don't know. It just kind of feels like you're at some point in the journey where it just starts to feel a certain type of way. I don't know what it feels like. It just feels, the word expands and expansive is coming through. It kind of just feels like if you were running, like say you were running somewhere, and then like maybe you're so into your music and you didn't, like you get to a point where you didn't realize that you ran as far as you were trying to run, just because like the music was carrying you through or something like that. Like it kind of just feels like dang, I didn't even know I came this far. Or maybe you're running somewhere and you realize that you were so caught up in what you were doing that maybe you, I don't want to say like you took the wrong turn, but it's like, I don't know, it's just like you're somewhere, like you're just somewhere where you didn't realize, or something clicks where it's kind of like, wow, I'm really on my own right now. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like if you're swimming and I forgot the example I was gonna say about swimming, but it's just kind of like okay, it's like a point where you could freak out. It's kind of like, okay, it's kind of like being on a tightrope or something, and it's like you get 75% there onto the other side, and then you look down. Like you just don't do that, right? So it's kind of like, it's just like getting to this point where you start to get scared, or like where you get to the top of the roller coaster and you're like, oh shit, or something like that. It's kind of like something about what you've been working towards and where you're going that I just heard don't look down. It's kind of that energy. It's like, don't freak yourself out now. Or like you might go somewhere and then you, I don't know, it's like you were so passionate when you were going, and you've been going this whole way, and then realizing that nobody's with you, and then you start to freak out or something like that. It's that type of energy. like just like keep going. And so basically with all of those examples, the message in that, if you do have this epiphany, or you start to kind of wonder or tremble or start to second guess and not fall into that type of anxiety impeding type of energy, it's just to keep going. That's the message. Is just like, keep going. Like, you're already 75% there. Keep going. Keep up the momentum. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Because it's like, you don't want to get to a place where you start trying to calculate, well, how long have I been doing this, and where am I going, and what's my plans? Just continue to focus on what you're doing now. Right. So with the swimming example, it's kind of like, say you're in a pool and you're trying to swim to the other side, and you get there and then you just stop, and then you start looking back and seeing how far you've come, and then you start looking forward and seeing how much you have to go. Like, don't look at how much further you have to go. Don't try to start calculating shit now. Just maintain your momentum, maintain your the word schedule is coming up. Like, just keep doing, just keep going. Like, don't stop now. And y'all may have seen that picture. It was like, yeah, this picture, it was floating around on Instagram, where this guy is in a, like, underground or something, in a tunnel, and he has this tool where he is like digging for something. And it was actually two people digging two tunnels, and the one at the top, he turned back, but he didn't realize that he was like, there was like some diamonds encrusted in like just like a few more picks away. So he had already turned around, and then the person underneath is like going at it, and he's about to break through. So it's like that type of energy. Continue to keep up that momentum. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't start thinking about it. It'll never happen. Just keep going through. Stay on the mission. So yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. So North Node is coming out for us. So another confirmation again that you're on the right track. You're doing the right thing. Try not to allow self-doubt and thinking too much to come in and kind of steal you away from the mission, the journey, the challenge. Destiny and challenges is coming out. So this, you were meant for this. This was meant for you. Comes out on top of this Mars card, and Kazemi in the heart here at the bottom of the deck. Let's see if there's anything else that we need to know. And something about that is going to be transformative and add on to this inner wisdom. So yeah, whoever this reading is for, you've already been on a journey where there's so many stages, like being called to do something, getting over the fear of what others may think, giving over the fears of yourself, building your self-confidence, working on your skill, taking the plunge. So you've done all that, and now you're just been on this journey for a while now. It's not anything new, but you haven't just necessarily reached the destination yet, but you're almost there. The moon is coming out. Emotions, instincts, receptivity, and safety. Coming out on top of the second house, I have okay. So again, the second house, this is the house of resources, material possessions, and values. Here is where we see our belongings, wealth, and finances, as well as the pillars on which material, intellectual, and emotional security is developed, ruled by Taurus and Venus. Second house of values, I have. So yes, like another thing that's coming up with this moon card coming out on top of this second house is being in a space where you're like you already went past this. This is not a journey that's new to you, but stopping where you are and thinking about things that you need. It's kind of like being an entrepreneur for a year and a half or 2 years and then freaking out about your bills and money, and like going through that stage where you're contemplating getting a job, getting a W-9 job and things like that again. It's kind of like you've been through this, stick with it. Like it's just like you've had a successful 2 years, but then you maybe things have been slow for 2 months, and so now you're kind of like your root chakra has been triggered again, and you're thinking about, do I need to go back to getting a W-9? Is the ride over type of energy? And this moon card is basically acknowledging that. You kind of like reliving or rethinking about your sense of security again. And this is coming out underneath this Vesta card, devotion. So remembering what you value could be helpful in these times. Remember what you value. You value your freedom. You value your ability to be creative. You value your ability to be resourceful for yourself. Can you think of everything that you've been through, that you've gotten yourself through in these last 2 years, even though you've had a rough couple last months? Okay, so we have conjunction, unity, autonomy, individuation, inner self, self-motivation, concentration, personal interest coming out on top of this Aquarius card, and this waxing crescent that said inspiration, creativity, growth, accomplishments, and learning. So yeah, so with this accomplishments and learning coming out with this waxing crescent, and this Aquarius card, so it's speaking to you being creative and having already experienced having accomplishments in a different way. So doing things that are maybe outside of the norm, like supporting yourself, being an entrepreneur, having different ways of sustaining yourself than what may be normal or average or acceptable by family or societal standards. And then this conjunction, unity, autonomy, individuation, self-motivation, and personal interest coming out. Reminding yourself of these personal interests that you have, reminding yourself of what's important to you. Society says this is important, but what's important to you, reminding yourself of that. And this is coming out underneath the Sun card, self-expression, ego, creativity, and identity, a part of who you are. So you're asked to be remembering a sense of yourself that was developed. What have you developed in your sense of self on this journey that you've been going through thus far, that you've experienced? So if you want to think about something, if you want to think about something, think about that. What have you learned so far? Keep that momentum going. That's what you could focus on, Spirit said. So Cancer is coming out sideways as well on top of this Sun card. Feel into that. Feel into the sun of who you are. And I heard, and what I was saying earlier is like I feel like something coming out from in front of you that's expanding, and it just feels like showing something, telling something, having something to show, to tell, to express, and it keeps on expanding in front of you. So it may be the word commercial vehicle is coming through again. So it's like you may not be aware of it now, but it's like you don't necessarily realize what you're building, or to the extent which it will go, or who it will inspire, how it will inspire. It's just like something about what you're doing. You don't realize how much bigger your efforts, your impact can make on anything. You don't even realize. Libra is coming out on top of this Jupiter card that came out in reverse. Expansion, gratitude, morality, enlightenment. So Libra and is ruled by Venus. It's known for being like relating to others, thinking about the others, but something about this Libra coming out on top of this Jupiter card, it's not necessarily to be so eye focused, but it's still like being expressive, being expansive in who you are. It's like something about catering is coming through, like sharing who you are, like whatever it is that you are, allowing that to be your identity, or showcasing that as your identity, like even if it's like serving, sharing, caring, but allowing that to be a part of your identity. That's the way it's coming through, and it's very interesting. So we also have repressed desires, Lilith, coming out on top of this void of course. Pause in time, change of plans, limbo, improvisation. Okay. And we were talking about that void, of course, just feeling like your awareness of this expansiveness. And what's coming through right now is like, it's kind of like, so since you're aware that there's so much space, how about you just not care about what other people think? Like I was talking about in the example of like feeling like you're trucking along here, and then you realize that nobody else is behind you, or something like that. It's like, well, since you realize that, like, even if you are gonna realize that, hey, nobody else is here with me, nobody else is standing with me, nobody else is supporting me, I'm by myself. If you realize that, like, this is the best opportunity to do exactly what you want to do. If nobody is there with you, if you're all by yourself, you might as well be free. So it's just like something about that Lilith coming out on this void of course, and this Pisces in reverse, that's saying, since you're in this expansive space, show out, like, get comfortable, so that way when you do get back around people, when people do come around, you're so used to being yourself that you don't want to change, because you realize that there's a sense of comfort in that you don't want to compromise anymore. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. And then we have Ceres, nurture, coming out on top of this Palace Athene with inner wisdom. And this eighth house, I transform. Embracing change, revelations, courage, determination, connection. Okay, so with this series nurture card coming out on top of this eighth house with Scorpio and Pluto, I transform is like nurturing yourself in spaces where you would normally feel afraid. I'm getting this feeling, hearing the word ego when we were talking about, it's kind of basically feeling like, it's like something could come up that makes you realize or aware of something happening that may have at one point been your biggest fear. Like maybe your biggest fear is rejection, or your biggest fear is being alone, or your biggest fear is being abandoned, or your biggest fear is getting lost. Something about finding yourself in that space, and with all that you've been through, having the skills, having the knowledge I'm hearing, having the self-awareness to nurture yourself or carry yourself through in a way where you realize, like, you know what, I have my kit with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're your own doctor in a way, or it's just like, I know what to do. And it's making me feel so sad. It's making me feel so sad right now. And yeah, it just feels like something, some kind of situation, awareness of something that you used to be afraid of happening. And the example that I'm getting is kind of like maybe that kid that didn't have anyone to play with during recess, or that kid that ate lunch alone. It's kind of that type of vibe, like something that you were always afraid of. You embarked on this journey and it ended up happening. And maybe at one point that would have been the very reason why you didn't embark on the journey. But you know how sometimes people talk about like this fork in the road, and then you can choose to repeat something or you could choose another path. It's like you chose another path, and this very thing that you were afraid of, or could have very well prevented you from taking this journey, end up happening, but you're equipped to deal with it. Or in a way, it's not that it doesn't hurt or that it does hurt. It's just kind of like you have something for it now. I'm getting like, it's also like maybe like keep on getting like a kid, so maybe it's our inner child that's coming through, but it's kind of like maybe something that you've seen on TV, or maybe like your grandma or something always did something for you when something bad happened, like you scrape your knee, and then they just happen to not be there the time that you scrape your knee, so you kind of freak out. You kind of like get to this place where you start to cry or whatever, and then you're just like, you know what, I can handle this. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go wash my hands, I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna get a paper towel, I'm gonna get some soap, and basically you like kind of take care of your wound, your little scratch by yourself as you're wiping away the tears. And then you go in the cabinet and you get a band-aid, and then you put it on there. Then you tell yourself, it's okay, don't worry. Like, you know how innocent kids are, and they'll just like tough it out sometimes. That's kind of what it's feeling like. It is feeling like nurturing yourself. It's making me so sad. But it's really a good, it's amazing thing. It just makes me so sad. Underneath the deck, we have the 9th house, ruled by Sagittarius and Jupiter. This is the house of higher and elevated thought as well as expansion. It covers long distance travels, foreign languages, inspiration, optimism, publications, higher education, spirituality, philosophy, religion, ideals, morals, and ethics. It's giving being your own parent. It's giving looking under the bed for monsters yourself. It's giving turning on the nightlight if you need to and not feeling ashamed about it. Leo is coming out sideways. Definitely keeping up the courage is the message for this video. Keep up the courage, keep up the momentum, keep going forward, keep pushing forward, keep the same techniques, encouragement, nurture yourself. Don't look down. Keep going. Just stay focused. Concentration. Absolutely. So I'm so proud of you. Like you're doing such a great job. I see great things for you. Don't trip up. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. That's pretty much it. Bye.